Hi everybody, I'm Jamie Kale Miller of Pandora Astrology. I'm in Berkeley, California, and with me is...
Hey guys, it's Julia Mikas and I'm in San Francisco.
And today we want to talk with you about the new moon happening in April of 2020. This is a moon in Taurus, as is usually the case when there's a new moon in April. Usually, not always. A new moon, of course, is the time when the sun and the moon are in a conjunction. The moon is right next to the sun in our skies, and therefore we don't see its face. We see it dark because the sun is behind it. And so we see its dark face, and therefore it kind of disappears and then is reborn as a crescent and continues its journey around our skies. So a new moon is a time of darkness. It's traditionally a time of mystery. It's a time of endings and new beginnings. And so I like to think of it as being about planting seeds. Now, this particular new moon is in the sign of Taurus. And as you can see, it involves the planet Uranus, which is right here with the sun and moon, also in Taurus. And that's going to bring in some interesting themes of its own. And then they all together form a square to Saturn over here in very early Aquarius, which it's dipping into this spring and going to be retrograding out of and back into Capricorn. But for now, we've got a Saturn in Aquarius. So because of the square between the very conventional, rules-oriented Saturn and it's square to Uranus, which is more of the innovator, more of the rule breaker, I think there are some really interesting themes here. Also, partially because Uranus is occupying the more conventional, grounded, practical Earth sign of Taurus, while Saturn is occupying the unconventional, Uranus-ruled, innovative sign of Aquarius. So you can see that these themes sort of have multiple layers. Julia, what are your thoughts about this Saturn-Uranus connection to this moon?
Well, this new moon, is in the traditional sign of Venus, which is Taurus. And there's just stepping back, tons of other Venus and relationship style activity going on in the mix of all of this.
True.
There's a full moon earlier this month, which we did a video about, of in the sign of Libra, which is again Venus. And we've got a Venus retrograde coming up right after this new moon, as well as a Juno retrograde earlier this month. And Juno is a relationship asteroid. So again, lots of relationship themes. But what's so interesting about it is that adding Uranus and Saturn into the mix, Uranus and Saturn are not the most mergy planets. They're very kind of boundary and very, Saturn is boundaries and Uranus is very individualistic, me versus you. So even though there is a certain degree of relatability and relation, Taurus is a very relational sign, yet it's also being aspected by these other planets, which are a little bit more, boundary oriented and not so let's all just kind of be one big, relationship soup with one another.
Yeah, that's interesting, and it really does make it complex. Now, Julia, you wrote an article about Uranus and Taurus and the sorts of changes that might happen in things like the world of finance and the world of food. Those are both Taurus things, while Uranus is there.
Yeah, because Uranus tends to bring reform and revolution, and in the sign of Taurus, which, as you mentioned, relates to food and money. Since Uranus has been in this sign, there has been the advent of more cryptocurrencies, more abstraction within the world of money, which is very Uranian, as well as sort of agricultural revolutions. The Impossible Burger, lab-created food, has also been on the rise since this transit has begun. So yeah, those themes are definitely taking shape.
Yeah. And it's also interesting with Saturn moving into Aquarius, and I'm sure we've got a video about that. I'm pretty sure we've got something about that in the 2020 news playlist. Saturn this year is going to be hopping back and forth between Capricorn, a sign that it rules, and Aquarius, a sign that traditionally it also rules. And I want to say a little something about that. To the ancients only had access to the visible planets in the sky, the ones that could be seen with the naked eye. And they had 12 signs and 7 planets, and they had to ascribe planets to all of those signs. So plenty of the signs had to share rulership with another sign by a planet. So traditionally, Saturn ruled both Capricorn and Aquarius, which is a little crazy to think of because Aquarius is so rule-breaking and rebellious and reactive and innovative, and we think of Saturn as being very not that way. But if you check out our video about that in the 2020 news playlist, you'll get a deeper understanding of what that rulership means and what this year is going to be like with Saturn, you know, doing a little bit of a, you know, a neck-breaking flip-flop between these two signs that seem so very different in their nature. And I think that this really adds layers of complexity to this particular moon. Now, a moon is a time when emotions run high. And emotionally, we really plug into stuff that may have been going on more in the background. Like Saturn, you know, making its shifts, Uranus making its shifts, and it's all captured in this moment of heightened emotion as Saturn and Uranus form a square to each other. So you can definitely expect a lot of themes of some people, you know, people getting into arguments where some people want to build on the rules that we already have. They want to utilize the power structures that are already in place. They want to adhere to the hierarchy. And other people want to break it all down, want to innovate, want to push for social justice instead, want to undermine authority, want to show the flaws in authority. So I think that this is going to be a moon where a lot of emotions come up around those themes. Now, because this moon is close to the beginning of Taurus, I like to give a 5-degree orb for a moon. So if you have anything up to 5 degrees after its placement, which is 3 degrees, or you have anything up to 5 degrees before 3 degrees of Taurus, you're going to feel this moon. So here's what that means more specifically. Basically, if you have anything at all in 0 to 8 degrees of any fixed sign, and here they are, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius, but also if you have anything in the last 2 degrees of a cardinal sign, Aries, Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn, then you're going to feel this moon because this moon will happen within 5 degrees of something in your chart. And that will be the side of you that experiences the most strongly that emotionality that is coming up in the general populace about rules. Do I make them? Do I break them? Julia, do you have any other thoughts to throw in there, or you think we're done here?
I think we covered it pretty well.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. We had a lot of fun making it for you, and you'll find more good stuff like this on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, in the April news playlist. And also watch for the horoscopes that we put out every month on that channel and also on our website, Pandora Astrology. And we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.